Don't you just love paying like 60 bucks or something and then totally just someone taking it all away and you not having a choice? It's pretty sick. So Ross Scott actually felt like that was happening in the gaming industry, which it is happening in the gaming industry. So he decided once Ubisoft took down the crew permanently to make a campaign. Now, this campaign, if you've been living under a rock for the last like 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, there's a campaign called Stop Killing Games. And this campaign is essentially supposed to get signatures to push back on people or publishers and developers and development companies being able to shut down their games. The reason this is important because technically, if you bought The Crew, for example, you bought it for $60 or $70 or whatever it was, and now you can't play it. Now that product is gone and you just don't get to play it anymore. And I think that's wrong. And I think most people think that's wrong. The reason I'm making the video now is because there's an important update, which we'll get into. So in April, Ubisoft actually shut down their servers of The Crew. The game actually needed like an internet connection to even just play solo. So there was literally like nothing saving it. It was they shut it down and you just can't play the game anymore. So this is when Ross Scott really got into it. Pretty sure he runs a YouTube channel, Accursed Farms. That's what it's called, Accursed Farms. I launched a full-blown campaign called Stop Killing Games to try to get people or publishers to stop killing games. So the movement super exploded. It did really, really well. Had hundreds of thousands of signatures, but I feel like he wasn't really exactly where he wanted to be. He was hoping for a 500,000 at some point. I think it was maybe June or maybe it was May, and he wasn't really there, but something happened and he got actually pretty lucky. So as I say, it's lucky for Ross Scott, pretty unlucky for Pirate Software. Now, if you don't know who Pirate Software is, he's essentially an ex-Blizzard dev, now turned content creator, that it seems like him turning content creator turned everybody against him. Literally everybody's against Pirate Software. I don't know much about the guy. His name's Jason. He goes by Thor on stream. Apparently people say he fakes his voice. He cheats in games. He's just full of himself and he cannot take accountability. I don't know. I don't look that deep into it, but I will read what he said here. So apparently he made a video slamming the Stop Killing Games movement, which I did watch, and he did lead on this being misinformation, or he spread misinformation about the campaign.
So this was my first encounter of him.
Oh shit, now this is actually really dumb. It's used car salesman garbage. This is shit. It's shit. Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to. That is awful. That is a horrible goddamn direction. That's awful, dude. Now, eat my entire ass. The level of stupid that I just had to receive was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours. This shit sucks. That's a really stupid ass move. That's an incredibly stupid ass move. I think this is ass. This is complete garbage. All of this can eat shit then. I drop the mask entirely. I have no qualms about that. They can eat my entire ass. The whole thing. That sounds stupid as shit.
It seems like he wasn't explaining the campaign the way the campaign deserves to be explained. So a small recap will be that he suggested the campaign was a distraction from real dev issues and said people were unfairly attacking small indie devs. That was his whole thing, that he totally disagreed with Stop Killing Games, and he said he would actually actively get people to not. So obviously online, Reddit forums, critics everywhere, it backfired, and people were saying, no, it's about the corporate publishers, not the indie developers. We're talking about Sony or Ubisoft taking down the crew. We're not talking about Eric Baroni with Concerned Ape having to take down Stardew Valley, right? We're not talking about indie developers. We're talking about corporations, conglomerates that own this side of the industry and have the power. So there's two things to do with this Pirate Software drama. In classic Pirate Software or Thor fashion, he actually decided to double down, had no accountability, didn't look to explain himself, and just accepted that and just moved on. Now, why that was good for Ross is because it actually exploded the campaign again, because it already exploded in UK and EU and all that, and then it came to the West. But then with this Pirate Software controversial take, it started to explode again, and they ended up getting hundreds of thousands of more signatures. I'm pretty sure now it's at 1 million. Yeah, so it's at 1.3 million signatures. That's insane. See, the reason it's important isn't just so I can keep my favorite games so I don't have to worry about it being taken down. The movement's it's bigger than just digital ownership of video games. It's happening with movies, it's happening with music. I mean, use Spotify. And if this Stop Killing Games campaign actually succeeds, especially people are thinking more of a European side of things, we could see a lot of things in EU legislation that actually leads to this seeing a real change. So I'll package all that up and just say it as it is. Stop Killing Games is great. It's in the description below. But the reason I'm making the video is because there's an important update on the EU side. There's actually a famous politician over in the EU. His name is Nikolai Stefanuta. I'm butchering the name, sorry. But he's a sitting vice president of the European Parliament. He actually posted a call to action on Instagram urging Europeans to sign the Stop Killing Games campaign. Pretty cool. So because the Stop Killing Games initiative is actually being supported by the EU government now, or at least one member of parliament, especially a vice president, there's a part here in this that I want to read. Due to the nature of European lawmaking, in order for a petition like Stop Killing Games to get the genuine attention of the legislators and result in real change, it has to get over 1 million signatures from people who live in Europe. People outside that won't affect it, but it's because of people outside that. We're here in the West, or maybe in the East a bit too, but definitely like people like Pirate Software and people that were going against it, or then also like Moist Critical and people like that were propping it up on a pedestal. It did really help, obviously, getting the name out there. But it's in Europe. It's not to do with the West, but a lot of games come out of the EU. So it says, as a result, the petition hitting its goals amount of signatures doesn't mean that it's guaranteed to be acknowledged by Parliament, and those who support it are doing everything they can to get as many signatures on a petition as possible. So as 1.3, it's probably going to end at like 1.5 million. That's an insane amount of signatures, but at the same time, that doesn't directly correlate to it being picked up in Parliament. That's why this is so important, because it was picked up by Nikolai, and now there's someone who's a sitting vice president in the EU Parliament that is able to voice this opinion. Now, I don't know what that means. Maybe that doesn't do anything, but it's better than nothing, and it's a pretty substantial update, and that's why I wanted to bring this up on a video. So this is exactly what Nikolai said. I stand with the people who started the citizen initiative. I sign and will continue to help them. A game once sold belongs to the customer, not to the company. And I couldn't agree more. I think that was very well said, and I'm excited to see where this goes. Because if we can see some change in the EU, UK, whatever, if we can actually see some real change, some legislation change, it's possible you see it in the West, and it's possible you start to see it in the East. Now, East is a bit different. I'd be very surprised, but we'll have to see. I mean, I don't think Nintendo's going to be doing anything about that anytime soon, but Nintendo games, they don't generally just shelf them. I don't think anyway. And it does state here, however, it's worth noting that its support doesn't mean that it's automatically going to give legislation or it's going to help in any insane fashion. But having a member of parliament, a member that is in parliament, a sitting vice president, that says enough in itself. It says that it's important enough for someone that has any power to even have a conversation in a boardroom, right? Anyway, this is an amazing cause. I bid you to go down in the description, check it out, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. But yeah, anyway, guys, that would be it for today. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah.